Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Spill the Beads with Joyce Trowbridge at Soft Flex Company. Hello, hello. I am going to play with these awesome Peruvian cabochons today with some our craft wire. We have a craft wire sale right now, which is awesome. You get a 10%. No, 15%. I almost got that wrong. It's on sale. Using the coupon CraftWire15, you get 15% off of all Craftwire. I'm using 22 or 24 would work for today. Also, I'm using the black because I think the black is going to look looked really awesome with this colorway. And we are going to have some fun with that. Hi, Tina. Hi, Dana. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Sherry. Oh, good to see you all. Look at my beady friends. So good to see you on here. I'm so glad to be back with Spill the Beads. It has been such a wonderful thing. So, let's not forget we are going to do a drawing at the end of this video. Put hashtag craftwire to enter, and I am going to send you a nice little Joyce collection. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kim. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Cynthia. Look at all these wonderful people. Ooh, and Liz and Karen. So wonderful to see you here today. So fabulous. So don't forget to hop over to our softflexcompany.com to check out our craft wire on sale. We have some that are selling out pretty quick. We had some big orders that just went through, so we will stock up again. But while you're at it, you might as well get the other things that you want to stock up 15% off. I'm using 22. You can use 22 or 24. If you use 24 for some of this, I would suggest having 22 or 20 on hand for a couple things. But for the most part, you can use any of those. And don't forget to check out our live sale. We had some amazing stuff from Tucson. Some of it already sold out, I think, but there are still some wonderful things from Tucson that Sarah brought back on our live sale. So you should hop over there, check that out. We have also the last time we're going to see the check glass from John from Beads. And there's some amazing check glass. I decided to go do a little shopping and my cart got a little full. That's my problem. I should have been doing it like every week. We did it so that it would made it more bearable, but I didn't. I was like, oh no, I'm going to let everybody get what they want first. And now my cart is like huge. So I'm with you, can't have enough beads, right? Hi, Michelle. All right, let's get this going. And then I see and if you haven't shopped our lives, you can find our live on our Facebook, but we have an app and a website link that is fabulous to shop from, and I would go there. Just remember that if you've toggled back and forth, sometimes we do multiple devices, like so that you can watch it one and comment the other and make it a little easier. Make sure that if you're putting stuff in your cart, that when you go to check out, you're checking out on the platform that you put them in your cart, because sometimes logging in on Facebook versus using your Facebook login versus using your app login might be a little bit different, and then we lose carts by accident. So I know it's hard. It's so hard to remember which one you're on, sometimes, but that will be like if you don't see your cart, check the other platform that you were watching it from. Um, and then that's one my little helpful hint on that those live cells. There's so many fabulous stuff. We have great plans for our live cells going forward. Um, Not only do we are getting more and more of Mike Sherman's collection popped in there, but Sarah has some great relationships with some vendors that she reconnected in Tucson with, and we're going to be getting some good stuff all year long, I think. Ah, yeah, Jack. Yeah, that I know it's so hard because I do like to watch it on two different things, like have it on my computer and have it on my phone, and then I don't realize that I didn't log it the same way. It's just like, ah, you're watching it on the big screen, Jack. Zach, yeah, you know what? That is exactly. I know a lot of people that like to cast it on their TV so they can see it. So you're watching it from one device there, and then you're have it on the other device to load in your comments and load in your anything like that. So so good to see everybody back. Hi, Jenny. I'm so glad you're back too. Oh, wonderful to see all these people. So we're going to do a little fun craft wire project to celebrate our craft wire sale. Don't forget to use craft wire 15 when you check out if you're buying craft wire to get 15% off. Let us go on to just the mat. Oh, I don't know why it looks so dark. I wonder if they're just really dark beads today, or I thought I was like lower. I thought let's see if I can get, ooh, wait, did I get this a little brighter? Mm, oh no, what's happening? Is it better when I lift it up? Why does that seem so dark today? Let's see what I can do. Get this. Ah, that seems a little bit better. Does that seem a little bit better to you? Maybe it needs to go from that side. It just could be because I have really dark things right now. Oop, oop, that's a little bit better. I know I can't get the plug to go all the way over to get it on the other side. Usually I have a light from this side, but it's cold in my garage and the light that's on the right side is not turning on. So I think I'll sit with the light in my lap. Like in person, it looks super bright. It's just really kind of funny. Let's see what I can do. Ah, your TV looks good, but your phone is dark. All right. We're going to sit with the light in my lap, but I think we could do that. All right. So I am using these wonderful Peruvian painted cabochons that we have. Now, these ones are the ones that have just the hole at the top. There's no hole at the bottom. These are on our website. We have these three plus one that has blue, and my blue one fell, and I don't know. I think it fell between my it fell between my shelf and I couldn't get it. But these are so gorgeous. And I decided that the black craft wire was what I wanted to use. I also grabbed some beads that were left over from my star-crossed lovers kit that I have. You can use any little beads that you want to dangle. And then I also had these 7mm fire polish that came in something. I don't know what it was left over, and I thought they looked really good with it. Oh, thank you. And so I am using a lot of these have this nice little channel that goes all the way around. And it does have a hole up here, so I am using that. But like, if you've, we don't have any in our live sale this time, but if you have seen the ones in the live sale, sometimes they have holes at the bottom, sometimes and the top. Some of them didn't even have any holes, and you would have to wrap them. But they all have this channel that we could put a little piece of wire around. And that's what we're going to use today. And we're going to put wire around it, and then we're going to connect this little swirly wire piece at the bottom so that we can dangle. And you could turn this into, like I used a piece of the wire. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to turn this into a pair of earrings or if I'm going to make it into a pendant, because I think it could look really pretty as a pendant, but it'd look awesome as a pair of earrings. And I haven't really decided yet. And this way we can kind of play around. So let's start with wrapping this piece. If you are making a pair of earrings, I would suggest that you kind of do this step on both of them, do one and then do the other. It's going to be hard for me to match this one up with this one because I already have all of this going on. And it's going to make it a little bit hard. But then on the other side of it, they are going to go on two different sides. If I do make them into earrings, they're going on two different sides of my head. And so therefore, it's not really going to be too problematic. If they're just a slightly off. I am using for my tools today, I'm going to be using a pair of round nose pliers, which are the cone shaped ones, a pair of chain nose pliers that are flat on the inside, making sure there's no teeth because we don't want to mark our wire. And I also have some toothpicks out. I'm using 2 toothpicks and then a pair of wire cutters. You can use other ones like this one. I just thought that black was really good. But then when you look at antique brass would be really pretty. I mean, black would be great on this one too, but there's that goldy color going down this side. So antique brass might look really good with this one. Or a dark silver even. I mean, silver would look really pretty. Antique copper would look good because of the red tone. So play around with some of those wires. You just never know what you're going to find. What looks good. All right, let's get this nice and smooth. I'm just smoothing it out with my hands. Mm, mm, mm. I'm going to start out by making, I just cut, this is like way too big. And I know that it's way too big, but I'm not going to worry about cutting off any ends because I'm going to use all the little bits that are left over probably to do the dangles. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. This gives me wire to handle and it makes it easier instead of trying to use like small little ends. I'm going to start out with a little wrapped loop about midway, not quite midway. I'm going to just make a little loop with it crossed. And I'm not making a neck on this because we are going around the edge, so it's not going to have like a full neck. And I'm just going to wrap this one time around. So this is my first loop. Now, I didn't do this one true center because what I'm going to do is bring this down. And this one's going to come around the edge, and then this one's going to go over the top to this other side. We're going to now take this slightly shorter side, place it underneath. I'm going to adjust this a little bit because it's not an angle I like right now. So I'm going to just kind of tweak the angle a little bit. I'm going to hold this upside down because I find that it works better for me if I go upside down. And I'm going to run it across the bottom to the other side to where I want my other loop. And I want my other loop about right here. I'm going to try to aim and see if that's about the same on this one. Ooh, so close. So I'm happy. I'm not even going to try to adjust it. That is so close. All right, so now I'm going to make another loop over here. Try to make my loops a little about the same size. Don't overthink these. Just when you go to do yours, just kind of go with the flow. I promise you it will work out because you're going to have all these dangles. You're going to have all, like, I don't think you notice any of the boo-boos I made on this because it's just pretty, right? It's just pretty. If I was to sit here and critique it, I could show you, I could point out all sorts of stuff that I wish looked better, but it's dangly, it's fun, it doesn't matter, right? I did match my, that's so funny. I didn't even realize that I picked something to match my earrings. How fun is that? All right, so now I have this going around at the bottom, and that looks pretty good on both sides. Now I'm going to take this top, and this one's just going to hang out. This is the second wrap. This one's going to go up and around the top, all the way around, and it's going to fall off right now, so don't worry. I'm going to show you how to tighten it. We're going to get this in place, and then we're going to take this around, and we're going to wrap. We're going to actually cut this one off. I forgot to cut this off. So this one we don't need anymore. We just needed one little wrap around. So we're going to cut that part off. I'm going to save this piece to do some dangle. I'm going to press that little end in. And then we're going to pop this back in. Let's put it back in. And wrap this around and grab hold of this by wrapping it around twice. Whoop, making sure that these, oops, I did not see, we did not get into the groove. Before you start wrapping, make sure you are in the groove. Apparently, I was not in the groove. I gotta get back in the groove. Ooh, come on. Where are you? Where is it? Oh, I unwrapping it and I end up wrapping it more. That's funny. Now let's get back. Make sure everybody's in the groove. Get in the groove. Get in the groove. In the groove. Boop a doop boop boo. And there. There we go. Now we got that. So we wrapped around a little bit more on this side, and that's okay. We're gonna even it out on the other side in a second. Hello, Joyce. I love seeing another Joyce in the that's awesome. And work. Oh, look at it. Hi, Katney. Good to see you on here. Hi, Margaret and Debbie. Welcome. So we're gonna just make sure everybody's in their groove. Working around, making sure it's all in the groove. And then once we're in our groove, because right now it's still kind of moving because it's a little loose. So this side has extra wraps, and that's okay. Because we wrapped this one around. Not only did we make the loop with the wrap, we took this wire and wrapped it around there. But what I'm going to do over here is now take my chain nose pliers, hold on to, this is how I'm going to tighten it. I'm going to hold on to my loop and I'm going to twist it. And this is going to tighten the wire and give an extra loop there, an extra twist around there so it looks a little bulky like that one. And we're just going to twist it to tighten it so it doesn't move as much. And now I have an extra twist and now it's tighter inside that groove. Did that make sense? And then we're just going to get everybody facing in the right direction. This loop looks a little small, so I'm going to stick my round nose pliers in there and kind of push and twist to kind of open that up a little bit. Now it like matches. Get them in the same position, and voila, look at that. We got 2 loops. And that looks good. All right, now let's build this little curly Q at the bottom. Yeah, well, it's like a combination of 70s and 80s for me. So we're all partying together. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to save these ends to do my little dangly bits. I'm going to cut another piece of my 22 gauge black craft wire. Now, when you shop, don't forget, if you're not finding one of these colors, just a reminder, on our website, we have, each gauge has 2 sections. We have a tab that has all of the basic, it's a copper with enamel coloring. So it's like the black, the red, the blue, the antique copper, antique, the vintage bronze, the let's see what else is on there. And the regular copper is all in that one. And then there's a silver plated section. And the silver plated has your bright silver and so they're all silver plated and then enamel over it. So the gold is like a gold color over the silver. There's a rose gold, there's a pewter, all those more brighter colors are on there. Oh, Katney, yeah, well, good luck with IRS. That's fun. But I cannot wait for you to wait to see what you make. I hope this inspires you to make something with yours when you rewatch this and hear me. All right, so I'm going to take this piece, probably about 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, something like that. I don't measure. I just like grab a nice little piece. And then I save my little ends like this to do all my little dangles. All right, so to do our little coil, I decided that I wanted long loopies. You could just do this around something one, one like to make round loops instead of like teardroppy loops. But I wanted the teardroppy loops, so I'm using 2 toothpicks together. We want to make sure that when we are wrapping that we are not doing too tight, because when you do it around toothpicks, you can really actually like indent it into the wood and then it's hard to slip out. We want to we're going to wrap around kind of loose, but not worried about it because we're going to adjust it, and make sure that you wrap around the amount of time that you want loops down across the bottom. I did 9 loops at the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this one comes up the top. And then we're going to slide it out. And so that's that's the first part of the coil. And then I'm going to kind of start smooshing it with my fingers a little bit, just to kind of, you can use to whack it down a little bit too. I forgot to pull mine out to do this. And so what I did was I just pulled it out and just started, pushing down with my chain nose pliers gently. You can use your nylon tip pliers too, so you don't mark it, because it is kind of easy to mark. And then just pull them apart a little bit to adjust them. Just, don't be afraid to just kind of manipulate it a little bit. Now, one of my favorite things about the black, and this can work for some of the other colors too, if you get the right kind of Sharpie. If you do take off some of the enamel with the sharpness of your pliers, I mean, most of the time it holds up quite well, but you can scrape it a little bit with your pliers. And if you do scrape the black with the pliers, I can color it with a permanent marker. And for the most part, you don't see it afterwards. All right, there we go. I'm just kind of like spread it out so that it fits across the base. We're not going to worry about it looking, like perfect, because once you put the dangles on, you can't tell that they're not perfect. They're not supposed to be perfect anyway. Who wants to be perfect? When you can be yourself and amazing, you're perfect just as is. And if somebody says your loops are not perfect, rethink that friendship, because nobody should be pointing that out. That's my point. That's what I say. Look at that, like there. That looks great. Now I need to make little loops to connect. I'm glad you like that. I always look to see what I have at home that I can use to make things with. And a lot of times toothpicks and my markers, like I have a tendency to use markers a lot. I have, lots of things. I use my chapstick to make rings a lot. There's so many things that I use around the house, because that's something that we are universally usually have, or it's easy to get. Um, Where sometimes these beautiful, wonderful, I love a good tool. Don't get me wrong. I love a good tool, but sometimes it's hard to get a tool that works. And so if I can do something with a household item, I'm always like, oh, Zach, that's awesome. Finished is better than perfect. Uh, Finished is perfect because you finished it. All right. So I made these loops and I made them facing, um, because I want to hook them into, so they're perpendicular to the ones that I want to hook onto. And we're just going to open that up. Whoosh. And then open up. Oh, yes. Dowels and skewers are fabulous too and easy to find. So I love a good dowel and oops, got to make sure when you go to do the second one, you got to make sure you open it in the right direction. If you accidentally open in the wrong direction, if you find that you're having a hard time hooking it, try opening the loop in the other direction and you probably will find out that it will work better. Like I had this open this way and I couldn't get it, but then once I opened it like in that direction, I was able to hook it so much easier. So if you struggle to get the second side, try maneuvering the loop so that it's open in the other direction and it probably will make sure you're closed on both sides. Now, this is 22 gauge. So when I was doing that, I really just kind of handled that a little harder than I should have. So I'm going to just spend a little bit of time refixing the shape and getting this better. Now, I am thinking, and this has happened to me before, I need to I accidentally made too big of a neck here. So it's drooping a little further than I wanted it to match the other one if I turn these into earrings. So I want to curl this down a little bit more and cut that little extra off and reposition it. You want that loop to be very close, or I want that loop to be very close. You don't necessarily need it close, but since my other one is close, I need to make it closer. So I'm going to just roll it down and adjust. It is Thomas today. Mm, 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 mm. All right. Now I have that and I'm ready to build. I am just making my own head pins and I'm with the same wire. So I'm going to use my scraps first because hello, might as well, right? To do them. I have 9 loops, so therefore there's 9 at the bottom, but then there's also these outer loops. So I'm going to do a total of 11. Now you can decide how you want to like come up with your own little design. Maybe you want to actually make these go down into, and have a longer piece in the center. I decided that I wanted small ones and big ones because I had these colors, this color that was the closest thing to that purple. I also had my handy dandy. Where is it? Delica that I thought looked really good for that purple. Um, and then I had these leftover little tiny bits. This is a great for all those little tiny bits that you might not use in you might still have a bit of Chinese leftover from a kit or something. This is a great way to use some of them up. I had these little clear ones that I thought looked kind of cute at the top of the bigger ones. Plus, these have like really large hole. So I needed something that wouldn't go over those delicas. Uh, y- yeah, Sherry, I always have a song in my head. It might be my own song, but there's always something sing-songy. I also have these leftover pinch beads. I This is where I love saving all these little beads that maybe I wouldn't use from a design kit or a goodie bag that maybe I didn't use in that, but like they're great for this kind of stuff. Now to make my little, I'm just doing a basic fold over and head pin. So I'm using the very tips of my chain nose pliers and curling it down. And that's going to give like this little shepherd hook and then squeezing that together. And if I use the very tips of my pliers to do this, I can get a pretty small little head. And then I can make the next. Let's see. So I have some where it is a pinch bead and then the red, and then I have 7 little delicas for that. And then for the bigger one, I have the big bead, the black, the little white, and then I have 8 because I wanted to make sure that those hang down a teeny bit longer. Because I liked that they were kind of hidden right here, but I wanted to make sure this really bigger bead, the whiter bead, so that they kind of dangle better, um, came below the others so that there's not too much bulk right there. And then, so I had 8 on that one. Now, if you want these to go a little bit longer, each one that you start, what I would do is start from the center so that you make that the largest one so that you don't make your earring too large. And then figure out what your largest length, the longest length you want. And then just -1 seed bead as you go, or -2 seed beads, play around with that. Maybe make a bunch of head pins and lay them out so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I'm going to, let's see, I got the big one next. So we're going to go start with the big, the black, the little white, nice little, just gives a little shine and a little something to keep that black bead from going over all of these delicas. It's good to see you on here. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you. And then I'm going to just make a little loop at the top. Now, if you want to make sure your loops are about the same size, what I like to do is mark my pliers. If you're not used to doing, like, if you're used to doing little loops, you eyeball it pretty well. But when you're not used to doing little loops, sometimes it's hard to remember where you held. So, like, if I'm here, I will take my marker, and a permanent marker, and just mark my pliers so that now I have a mark there and I know where. Now, even though it's a permanent marker, it actually doesn't stay permanent on metal very well. So, like, because you're going to be like rubbing it off, scraping it off. So you can always change that. You can use a rubbing alcohol to take it off if you really need to. Now we're going to open up this loop. Hey, Pauline, good to see you on here. And flip this in here and attach. And just keep adding until you got like a fabulous little pendant or earring. What do you think? Should I make these into earrings or should I make this into a pendant? What is your vote? What is your vote? Earrings. Earrings. Love it as an earring. Yeah, I probably should make it as an earring. So I've just folded that end up. I love it as an earring too. Oh, making a big shadow. Making a big shadow. How did I lose? My light fell. Oh, I got a lot of little links to do so I can catch up, so I can get these out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why I like counting them ahead of time and laying them out. Because do you do that? Do you like recount things like 5 times while you're doing it because you're thinking about the next one and then it's like, oh, did I put 6 on here or 7 on here? Let's see. Making a little loop. Now, 22 gauge on a hole can be a little like, if I was doing this with like the dangles, I don't really mind. And so, but like, if I was doing this with 22 and wanted to turn this into a necklace, because that was like my thought is that if I was to do a necklace, I might want to put some wire links into the necklace and I would do wrap loops on it with the 22 link into the necklace part. I don't mind that these are just simple loops. My light is falling again. I don't mind that the loops are simple loops that can open with a 22 on these dangles, but yeah, we're really just having a fun. Oh, Maybe that's the spot. Maybe that's the spot. I think that's the spot. That seems better. I found a more less, because these are not going to grab, but like if it's in this top part, that's why I didn't finish this here. I think I want to do a wrap here because this is where it's going to hold on to either a necklace or a pair of earrings. And I want this to be more secure. So I'm going to do a wrap over here like I did the wrap down here. So you do want to pay attention to those thinner gauge wires, what you are making with it, because if you make something that needs a little bit more structure, a simple loop that opens like these sometimes isn't strong enough with the thinner gauge wires. So you want to make sure you do a wrap loop. And this one is don't forget all you wonderful people that put hashtag craftwire in there. We're going to draw a winner at the end. You must be here to present to win. So stay tuned at the end. I'm counting out 8 of them because on this one I'm doing 8. I'm going to put together a nice little fun thing that I'll bring into the office on Tuesday to mail out. I love putting together little packs. I got inspired by Rosa's little and Adriana's little mixes that they do. It is just they do such fun little mixes, and it's always so I love doing that. So we are going to put something, and I like to usually do it kind of on theme of what my Spill the Beads is that day. So, and I have one more to go, and then we're done with this one. Thank you. I love working with craft wire and adding, using it to decorate things. So it's always fun when I can do a craft wire project. And I thought, best time when we'll have our craft wire on sale too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my shorter one has 7, so I'm going to make sure I only put 7 on here. And wrap here. Or not a wrap. A loop. A loop, Joyce. It's a loop. There we go. Boom. Pop this in. Oh, the garage is cold. I hope you're all staying warm. If you're in cold areas, I know that there's a cold front going in a lot of the country. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, yes, for sure. The black wire is perfect for Halloween jewelry. I love it. I have an ear wire in here. I have an ear wire in here. What happened to my ear wire? Ah, I am going to be using a gunmetal ear wire in this case, just because I have it left over from my kit. So I'm going to do, now when you go to do if you go, this hole is a little too far down and the clay is a little too thick to just pop this in. You could do a jump ring and then a jump ring in the opposite direction if you want to do it that way. I'm going to use this same bead. I don't mind the length of it. This could make it a little too long for some people, so do choose your little bead up here wisely. But make sure you I'm going to do it over here with a new piece so that you can see this. I'm going to do it I'm going to do it in a different, if you didn't want to add a bead. So I made a large loop to make sure it fits through that hole. And then added the bead, and then I made a loop at the top in the opposite direction. You need to have it perpendicular to that one, so that way when this goes through your ear hook, you're in the right direction and it hangs properly. So you could do the same thing here. And if you didn't want to have a bead on top because it's going to be a little bit too long, you can adjust it a little bit or just make a little wire loop without a bead. And so what I'm going to do is start with a larger loop, run that through. There you go. Now, instead of just cutting here, I'm going to bend this upwards so that now the two wires are together like that. I'm going to snip off a tiny bit of that, leaving just a little bit of a tail. And then make my wrap loop, making sure it's perpendicular to piece. And when I go to wrap this part, I'm going to catch that little leg that I left. And I'm wrapping around both of them. So it's a little bit shorter and it's a little tailored by wrapping that around. Push that down. And so if you feel like that was too long, you could also do that. I want to know, what do you think? Do you like it with, I mean, the bead looks great because it pulls the other beads up, but if that made it too long, do you like that look too? This is another alternative way, and it still looks good. I think I'm not afraid of the long, so I think I'm going to go with the bead. But this is a really good way of doing it, especially if you need to make it a little shorter. I wanted to make sure you knew how to do that, because sometimes it's like after doing this, we're like, oh, I made that too long, you know? Yeah, the bead looks really nice. Oh, looks naked without the bead on top, Jenny. It kind of does, huh? Because we have this one next to it. If you never saw this one, it probably would look fine. But because you see this and it pulls that your eye and because I was a little afraid, like it's a good color for it, but it's very shiny. So in a way, sometimes that feels like a shiny next to this very solid opaque color can kind of feel a little off, but by drawing it back up here is why I did that. Yeah, exactly, Tina. Sometimes the shorter works a little bit better for people. That's why I like, and I think they both look great. They really do. So it's like really what your comfort level is. Yeah, it's fun. All right, let's see if I can get ourselves. Did you get your um hashtag craftwire in? Because we are going to make the draw. Oh, I forgot to. No, we're going to make the draw in just 1 second. We're going to finish this one right now because so I did make the larger loop. This one I did not do I'm contemplating if I need to go back and make a wrap loop at the bottom. We're going to see how well this goes, but I am going to do a wrap loop at the top for sure. In fact, I might just wrap around the bottom. Ooh, yep, wrap. And then come around the side. Yeah. Oh, fun. Goes with that wire. What do you think about that? Do we like, well, you can't see it because my big old fingers are in the way. Let me get that all the way through. What do you think about doing that with the wrap around the top? Is that too much wire? Should I kept it simple? Or do we keep that little wrap because it adds that wire back up there and it kind of and it goes along with this little wrap? Is this heavy? No. These clay beads are so, so, so light. And I'm using mostly small beads, so they're not very heavy. For as big of an earring as these are, they are definitely not as heavy as they look. Um, I mean, they got a little weight. Of course, they got a little weight because there's a lot of dangles. But I'm using mostly delicas and 3mm beads on here. And the clay is so light. All right, we're going to cut off that extra. Then, because I think we got a winner with that little wire at the top like that. Oh, that's so cute. I am going to leave this one just to let you know. I am going to leave this one like that for our blog and for the purpose of this, but I'll probably change it after so I can wear the earrings the same. I know mismatch is popular, but I like intended mismatch, and this is not intended mismatch. All right. Oh, thank you, everyone. All right. Who is ready for this drawing? I am ready for this drawing. Let us get hashtag craftwire in and present. Share screen. Do. Ready, set. Hashtag craftwire. We got 39 of your entries in. Let's see who wins. Are we ready? set, go. Draw. Do, 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 do. Let's see who is our winner today. Woo, 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 woo. Stacy Seattle. Congratulations. Stacy, are you here? Are you here? Comment below. Please let us know if you are here. Yay, you're here. Awesome. Go ahead and send your information to info@softflexcompany.com so that we can ship you off. So a really fun little thing. I'm going to give you a Joyce curated fun little thing to play with. And I'll bring that in next Tuesday to mail off to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we did it. So don't forget to shop our website and get some craft wire to go along with these kind things. And if you have not picked out, we do have like 3 that are very similar in color and then one beautiful blue one. Make sure you use craft wire 15 to get 15% off of the craft wire. Grab a couple of these. If you haven't shopped the live sale yet, go find the wonderful live sale link right there in the comments, and you can either watch it through Facebook or through our website or our app, which is amazing. We do now have a text, like you get info reminders about different things through text. So if you haven't done that yet, you should sign up. It's really good to have. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Thomas, for all the work you do in the background. And we will have a great weekend. Keep beading, keep spilling those beads and making beautiful stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye.